Yo, 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 what is up? Welcome back to the Burnell Washburn podcast. Hope you're having an amazing day. Sending you all my love, all my good vibes. It's a beautiful time to be alive. If you're new, thank you for joining us. My name is Burnell Washburn, obviously, and I like to spread hella good vibes and just share ideas and mindsets and anything I can do to help people have a better, more fulfilling quality of life. That's what I'm all about. So thank you for joining the community, joining the tribe, and shout out to everyone that's been sharing this. This thing continues to keep growing. Huge thank you to everyone that's been messaging me, saying that you're tuning in. That helps me spread the word. We've been getting quite a few plays, quite a few listens and downloads, so I'm pretty stoked on it. It keeps growing and getting bigger and bigger every episode, which makes me feel like we're on the right track. So let's keep it up. Thank you for everyone that's leaving reviews, sharing this on your story. Shout out to the Gratitude Gang, all the Patreon supporters, the patrons, if you will. Yeah, I'm feeling blessed. The music is popping off lately, like better than it's ever been. So huge thank you to all you guys supporting on that. The beats have been going really well, and I've just been enjoying being a dad and spending time in nature and meditating and exercising and soaking up the sun and connecting with humans. That's been my biggest driver for everything lately, is just human connection. I realized I had a lot of alone time the last few years, just doing a lot of work on myself, a lot of self-development, spending days on end just like listening to podcasts and meditating and not really like getting out there and socializing as much. And then I really got to this self-awareness point where I'm like, man, I value connection more than anything. So I've been out there connecting with other humans more, and it's been feeling beautiful. So today I wanted to talk about just a couple things. It's going to be a quick episode. I just wanted to share a few thoughts that were on my mind. Number one, feelings create reality. It's not just thoughts that create reality, it's feelings that create reality. Number two, it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to feel a range of emotions. Emotions, energy, emotion. It's what turns all the invisible waves into particles, into matter. So emotions are beautiful, powerful. I want to talk about those a little bit. And talk about not suppressing emotions, because it's just good to feel it. When we oppress emotions, we create shadows. And another thing I wanted to talk about was something that I've kind of touched on, at least on my YouTube. I probably talked about it a few times on my podcast as well. But it's just face the hard things, yo. Like, it actually takes less energy to face a challenge than it does to avoid a challenge. So if we just spend half the time we spend trying to find shortcuts and just spend that towards actually like attacking our challenges face on and just facing our fears, we're actually going to get energized from facing our fears rather than getting drained from trying to avoid things. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to share a few words and vibes with y'all real quick. First of all, I've just been feeling so grateful. Like, thank you guys for being in my life and supporting this podcast and just supporting my music and being you. I've been getting hit with these almost overwhelming waves of gratitude where I'm just like, holy shit, I've come so far. I'm in a beautiful place and I'm headed to even more beautiful places. So like, wow. It's been a hell of a journey on this planet Earth, I tell you what. And I've been enjoying this shit a lot. So I just keep, at least like several times a day, I'll just like randomly get hit with this flood of gratitude where I just kind of realize how blessed I am, or I'll look around, or a certain thought that I'll have will just trigger like enormous appreciation where I'm just like, wow. Like, wow, I'm living the dream on all levels. I literally wake up and do what I love like every day. Sure, there's challenges, and sure, there's things that I have to face that I don't want to, and shadows and demons and all sorts of, hardships and stuff and struggles, but for the most part, I'm like waking up and just doing what I love every day. And I'm really enjoying it. And I'm just really grateful that I was like able to create this life for myself, and that I continue to create and build this life. So huge thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, all you beautiful listeners. And yes, I love my life. So today, as you can tell, I didn't have like a super planned episode or anything like that written down. I was just kind of like, yo, I want to talk about some things. So feelings create reality. A lot of people are always talking about, thoughts become things, and The Secret teaches us that our thoughts become reality, and there's definitely lots of truth in that. But on a deeper level, feelings create reality. You can intellectually think something and not be actually feeling it. Feelings when your heart and your subconscious mind and your nervous system and your body and your thoughts like all kind of align as one energy, and whatever you're feeling is what you're attracting. Emotions are just indicators. We're not our emotions. We need to separate ourselves from our emotions and just like feel them when they come up, rather than trying to suppress them. Just feel the emotions, let them be what they are, and observe them and ask, why is this emotion here? What is this emotion telling me? Okay, what can I learn from this emotion? Rather than like, you feel, ooh, it's 222 right now. I turned off my alarms. I'm not doing the alarms right now. I'm taking a little break from those. So it's almost better when I see them. When I see the numbers without the alarm going off now, I'm like, sick, I'm on path, rather than like, oh, the alarm just went off. And so that's why I saw it. But anyway, emotions are just indicators of what we're currently creating and attracting. So like, they're beautiful things, and we are not our emotions. It's so easy to like, you feel sadness and then you start to identify with it and say like, I am depressed, and then you're creating this affirmation that I am depressed, or I have anxiety, or I am stressed. These are all creative, powerful statements. Our words are creative power. So we're often creating the reality that we don't want just because we felt something for a little bit and then we identified with it. Rather than just observing it, we thought that was us, and so then we started describing ourselves as that. And then the more we described ourselves as that, the more we felt that, and the more we became that. And then like, we forget that like, that was just a thing we once felt, and then we identified with it too much. So like, people are walking around like saying, I am depressed, or I have depression, or I have anxiety. And like, there's definitely a lot of mental health issues that are very, very real, and I'm not trying to downplay that. And there's a lot of chemical imbalances and stuff, but like, everything is energy still, and we're creating our own reality, and we're creating the chemical balances or imbalances based on our own emotions and how we're feeling and how we're choosing to identify with those emotions. So it's okay to feel. Jay Shetty says there's a way we feel, and then there's a way we feel about the way we feel. So next time you're feeling down, just allow yourself to feel down, and don't make yourself wrong for feeling that. You're only human. In fact, it's healthy for you to feel all different spectrums of emotions. You know what I mean? You don't want to suppress it or make yourself wrong or bad for feeling a certain type of way. If you just want to observe it and then ask yourself what you can learn from it, and then ask yourself if you want to continue to embody it or not, and then move on and pick a different emotion. But trying to like not feel it and just push it away and hide it in a corner or bottle it up, you guys already know how that goes. You bottle up some anger, eventually you blow up on someone. You suppress a certain type of word or feeling that you've been having with someone, and you haven't had that conversation, and you haven't expressed these emotions, and then boom, you end up getting sick or something like that. Because all of the physical ailments in our bodies are tied to emotions. And like, if you got like knee pain or elbow pain, maybe you're not being flexible. Or if there's like, you have two hands, if there's pain in one hand but not the other hand, maybe you're like not balanced, or you're not have balance with giving and receiving, or you're not seeing things from two different perspectives, or you know what I mean. So like, our emotions and our body symptoms are just like indicators that, well, our body symptoms are kind of like indicators of our emotions, of our subconscious emotions, and then our emotions are what's creating our reality. And it's just like letting us know, like if we feel negative emotions, it's just kind of letting us know that, like, hey, we're currently on the vibration of creating a reality that is not aligned with our highest self. That's why it doesn't feel good. So we don't need to be like, oh shit, I'm thinking negative right now, like, oh fuck, everything's like, and then beat ourselves up and overthink it. Just be like, oh, negative thoughts are coming up. I wonder why I'm thinking like this. Oh, maybe it's because like this. What can I learn from that? Oh yeah, okay, cool. And let me breathe through it. Breath work is so powerful. Breath work and meditation are two things that if you're not doing every day, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting into it. Like, there's lots of different types. Find out what works for you. Give yourself permission to create your own types. You don't need to follow anyone else's blueprint, although you can. You can just like feel the emotion in your body and just breathe into that spot and exhale and just let it go. And just let it go, and sounds crazy, but if you sit there and breathe through an emotion long enough, you really can release that emotion and like loosen up and transcend its power and take this emotion from controlling you and be able to like learn from it and grow from it and not be like held down by it. So it's important. It's important to just feel the feelings, like a little kid. I've talked about this before on my YouTube channel. Like little kids, when I observe my daughter, she's generally super happy all the time. But if she feels sad or angry or frustrated or whatever, she just feels it real quick and she just lets it out. She'll cry or whatever, do whatever she needs to do real quick, and then it's gone. And then she moves past it so quickly. And it just seems so healthy to watch her do that. It seems like she didn't like feel like, oh, I'm upset right now, I shouldn't feel upset, and now I'm upset because I feel upset, and like do all these like weird things that adults do. She's just like, I'm upset right now, and yeah, I got a right to be upset in this second, and I can feel however I want, and fuck it, I'm upset. And then she'll feel it. She doesn't swear. She doesn't say fuck it. I swear way too much. But she just feels it, moves through it, and doesn't like embody she doesn't like identify with the emotions that she's feeling. Especially because emotions are usually always fleeting. Like, no matter how good, how positive or negative, like they usually never last forever. Like, if you're on a cloud 9, eventually you come down a little bit, and if you're like down a little bit, eventually you come up a little bit. So like most emotions don't last forever anyway. And it's like, I heard my grandpa say one time, he's like, it's okay to have a bad day, just don't let it become permanent. It's okay to feel down sometimes, just don't let that be your permanent way of being, And energy is like, emotion is energy in motion. And emotion is like what creates the universe, really. It's like all the invisible waves of the universe, which is basically everything, is turning into matter. And these waves are going from wave to particle based on our emotion and our observation of them. And it's crazy. It's quantum physics. No one really understands it. I'm not going to try to pretend like I do, but from what I think I understand, how I feel is what my life is becoming, So if I feel positive, if I feel happy, I am on a vibration that is bringing more things that are happier, that are on that same vibration. When I'm feeling sadness, I'm bringing more things to feel sad about. And it's okay, like, I don't want to feel like perfectly happy, sunshine and rainbows 24/7. Like, I just want to feel that the majority of the time. I'm fine with like 85%. If I got like 85%, I'm just stoked as fuck on life. And like 15%, I'm struggling and down and like beating myself, whatever. Like, that seems like a pretty good ratio. I know, like, I might be able to get to a level where it's like 99.9% pure bliss. But even like, 85% is a damn good ratio, because the 15% just makes you appreciate the 85 that much more, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be perfect all the time. So for me, I kind of like feeling sad every once in a while. I kind of like, it just reminds me that I'm human. I kind of like just feeling, every now and then, like, it's nice as a man to get like super fucking heated and like feel like I could rip someone's face off, like all testosterone and just like, like, it's nice. It like reminds me of like my animal instinct and it's not like I want to like dwell in those kind of vibrations, because I'm like a peaceful, chilling dude. But every once in a while, it feels good to kind of just feel these different ranges, I don't want to just like hear one song 24/7 or look at one color 24/7. It's like I like the different vibes. So feelings are powerful, and we can change our feelings anytime, and we can continue to just keep embodying the feelings and the vibrations that we want to feel. So like, I've been doing these mind movies for years where I just kind of like zone out in a meditation and visualize a perfect day of my life. Like, what does an ideal day in the life of Burnell Washburn look like 5 years in the future? Okay, I wake up. What does my bed look like? What does the room look like? What does my backyard look like? What's in my kitchen? Who's living in my house with me? What are the emotions that I'm feeling? I look in the mirror. How does my body look? How do I feel about just the way I'm being in the world? What am I excited about? What projects am I working on? What kind of like real connections and genuine relationships am I building and nurturing? And who am I just like working and collaborating with? I get really detailed on like just what this dream life looks like, and I feel the emotions. I'm not just thinking about it. Neville Goddard has a book. He's one of my favorite law of attraction teachers, kind of like esoteric, spiritual, quantum teachers, and he has a book called Feeling is the Secret. So if you've seen the movie The Secret, they talk a lot about thinking, and thinking is definitely part of it, but feeling is the real attractor, the real power, you know what I mean? So our feeling is the vibration, and that's what brings everything that we want. So whatever we're feeling is what we're attracting, and I just feel the feelings of living my dream life. I feel what it's like to be in that body, to be in that relationship, to be in that house, to be working on those projects, to have that bank account, to be wearing those clothes, to be sharing meals with those people, to be traveling to those places. I feel these emotions so deeply, and I don't just see it. Visualizing it is cool to see it, because that's, like through the third eye, you can, bring the particles into or bring the waves into particles and, create the universe. But man, it's just so fun to really connect with that vision and feel it. Just feel what it's like to be there, being that person. And it feels so real that I come out of the mind movie or the meditation, and I just am that. I want to embody that. I want to eat like that. I want to dress like that, talk like that, think like that, walk like that, because it feels so real. Oh, nice. It's 2:34 right now. And it just feels so beautiful that I can just embody that emotion. And the secret to creating the life of our dreams is just to get clear on this vision and then keep feeling these emotions as often as possible. No matter how many times a day your emotions slip back into the old paradigms and the things that you're scared about. Like for me, one of them is money. Like I just constantly go back to being worried about money for some reason, and I'm working past that, and I'm getting better and better at like, I catch myself now when I'm like, I'll be on a super high prosperity abundance frequency, catch myself thinking worrisome thoughts about money, even though I've got enough and got plenty. I'll catch myself just like worrying, like future tripping, thinking about what if this and what if, and I just breathe into it. I allow myself to feel it for a second, and then I just, nope, that's not what I want to create. I'm going to detach from that, and I'm going to remember who I really am and reconnect with that mind movie vision and re-embody those emotions that I want to feel, and just choose to feel abundant and prosperous, and say my affirmations and do my incantations of just God's wealth is my infinite supply. I always have more than enough money. Money is fun and easy to generate. I am abundant. I am generous. I am grateful. Like just reconnecting with these emotions, and I have to do it through my voice and my body. And then, sometimes I have to even go, like, I catch myself worrying about money. I gotta pull out my PayPal and like donate some money right there just to remind myself there's plenty to go around. Look, I can just give some away. I don't need to worry about that. That's my old paradigm stepping into play. I thank you, old paradigm. I remember when you were protecting me and keeping me safe, but actually we've moved on a little bit now. So, we ask you to leave with grace and gratitude, and we appreciate you, for serving us for the time that you did. But you're no longer needed here, and you're not allowed to show back up in our energy field, and unless you're constructively helping us, the greater good of all. Like, I'll just say some crazy shit like that too, like to my own thoughts, basically. As a worry comes up, as a fear comes up, I just observe it, feel it, talk to it, let it go, and then re-choose the vibration I want to be on, of like, oh yeah, it feels, I'm in my beach house right now, and oh look, I can hear the waves crashing outside, and it's not like I'm tricking myself into anything. I'm training my entire nervous system into embodying the vibration that I want to be on. And the more I do that, the more my life just keeps getting better and better and closer to my ideal version of like what a good life is. So yeah, I know that was a mouthful, but tap into those mind movies and just start connecting, and just no matter how many times a day you slip into old ways of thinking, it's like a muscle. I talked about it in the Reprogramming Your Subconscious Mind episode. If you haven't heard that one, it's like you're chopping your way through this jungle to get to this waterfall, and there's no trail there. So the first few times you go through, it's treacherous. It takes a while to get there. It's hard. You're like you're chopping through thicket. You know what I mean? Thicket. That's a funny word. You're chopping through the thicket, and it takes a while to get to the waterfall. But then after you've been there a bunch of times, like, you start to clear a path. And that's like the process of myelination in our brain. The more we think a certain thought, the more it's easier to think that thought, because the nerve cells that wire together start to develop a myelin sheath around it, which is like basically meaning that the nerves can talk to each other easier. There's like a stronger connection. It's like the more I choose to connect to, it's kind of like YouTube when you're or like Google or any like search engine when you're searching something. The more you search a certain phrase, the faster that like thing comes up. So for me, I don't even have, like, I go to Facebook so much, sadly, but I'm promoting good stuff on there, and I'm going on there to share my heart and whatever. But I can type the letter F into my search engine, and Facebook will just pop up, because I've trained it to like. But if I've never gone to Facebook, it'll just be like, did you mean F this or this? You know what I mean? It'll come up with all these other things. So the more you like choose to connect to positivity or abundance or health or any of these frequencies, the stronger that these nerves become in talking to each other. It's like you upgraded your internet connection, and you went from like 30 megabytes per second to like 100 megabytes per second, and now you can access these positive emotions quicker and more easily. So it's all about reprogramming and training yourself to feel these emotions. So the more I do these mind movies, the more I'm kind of like upgrading my internet connection to like feel those emotions quicker and easier, and I can just connect to these frequencies really quickly now. And I still do the work every day, but I just continue to keep feeling what I want to feel, and then my reality continues to just look closer and closer to that vision. So it's beautiful. The last thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go, and before I let myself go, because I got a lot of fun shit to do today. I just want to do all the things, yo. I wish I could clone myself like 10 times and yeah, just do all sorts of awesome shit at once. But anyway, I gotta be present and just enjoy every moment to the fullest. Fuck yeah. I've been facing the hard things. I've been facing my fears. I'm literally about to go get a snake tattoo at some point, because I'm so scared of snakes, and I just want to face my fears. Like, I want to look at it every day, be like, I'm not held back by things I'm scared of. And I've been feeling more and more confident the more I face my fears, and the more I just do what's hard. So I've realized it actually takes less energy for me to just face whatever I'm scared of or whatever I'm procrastinating or putting off than it does for me to try and avoid it. Anything in my life that I'm trying to find a shortcut for is actually draining more energy than if I would have just gone the long way or just gone the hard way. Like, and I'm not saying everything should be hard and struggle. Like, I'm all about making things easy and fun and light and playful. But, like, it takes less energy to face a challenge than it does to avoid a challenge. So I wanted to remind you guys of that. It's like so often we're, like, avoiding things in our life. And, like, just the mental energy it takes of avoiding something and it's weighing down in the back of our minds, that drains us more than just like actually facing it. And sometimes you can't face it all at once, but you can sit down and make a plan. You know, like for a while when I was in a lot of debt and I was literally ignoring my bank account because it was emotionally painful for me to check my bank account or check my mail because I was scared there was going to be overdraft fees or collection notices or just stuff like that was going to trigger negative emotions. So I kind of had to emotionally detach from those. But ignoring them is like detaching doesn't mean you ignore them. Detaching means you face the hard thing. You go, let's check this bank account. Let's see how far in the negative it is. Luckily, my shit's not anymore, thank God. But like, let's check this bank account and let's actually write down a plan of what we're going to do about this or what we can do about it. And let's see what's actually in our power. Okay, and now I'm going to detach. Now that I've got the plan, or now that I've faced it and I've looked at it and I've been honest with myself about where I'm at. Because if you're like trying to get anywhere on a GPS, like you could put in like any address in New York City, but it's not going to tell you how to get there unless you tell it where you're at first. So you got to know where you're at. You got to know where you're coming from, kind of. So like, not kind of, like for sure. You need to know where you're at and be honest with yourself. But then you need to emotionally detach from it. Like, okay, I know I'm in X amount of debt and I have this plan to pay it off. Okay, now that I've faced that reality, the first step that I can do towards overcoming this challenge is to get on a more abundant frequency. And so my first action step is to go into meditation and connect with the frequency of prosperity and abundance. And then you go in there and you detach from your current reality and you kind of live this mind movie and you really embody your desired emotion. So you're not like avoiding, you face the hard thing, but now you're doing something about it, which is you're choosing a new vibration. So it takes, like if you're avoiding to make a phone call or do your laundry or clean your fridge out or like just any random thing that's like in the back of your mind, something you know you should be doing, just do it and you'll feel so much more energized after you do it. It's crazy. It's taking more energy to not do it than it is to just do it. So I don't know. That's like a reminder I feel like I could use all the time. So I wanted to share that with you guys. But anywho, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I really genuinely appreciate you tuning in. Please send me a message. Let me know you listened to this episode. On Instagram, I've been spreading a lot of good vibes on my Instagram story. A lot of just new music too. So I'm working on a ton of music and got some sick shows coming up. Got a couple tour dates, some travel. Got new YouTube videos coming out. And I'm going to keep going hard on this podcast. So if you're getting value from it, please shoot me a message and just say what up so I can personally thank you. Make sure to check out the Patreon page. You can join the Gratitude Gang for even as little as like $5 a month. If you throw that down, it helps spread the good message. It helps grow the tribe, and it helps me know that people care and that I'm on the right track. And it just makes me grateful to be doing what I'm doing and have all these like awesome people supporting me. So check that out, patreon.com/Burnell Washburn. I'll put a link in the description too. As always, feel free to email me or DM me on IG if you need anything. I'm always here for you. So I love you. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Sending you all my love, all my joy. We'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.